Y'all are probably looking at this image right now and saying, Torian, why do you have the picture of a flower, specifically a tulip, on your screen? Trust me, this story is about as ridiculous as they come. When I first learned about it, I said, do I or do I not go in about this story right here? And if you follow my live stream channel, which is Reign in Real Time, REIGN in Real Time, I actually talked about this in my most recent live stream, the one that I did at the end of March, the last Friday of March, which was the 26th. And you can go back and listen to the replay of me talk about it. So basically what happens is in North Carolina, you had this 6-year-old boy who got literally arrested and charged for picking a tulip and actually got put and sent to court. I kid you not. When I first heard about this story, I thought it was fake because I didn't want to believe something that this ignorant and this ridiculous was real. So what I did was I went and typed in some keywords into the search bar of Google, and sure enough, this was indeed a real thing. This actually did happen. And I believe the boy, of course, is black, because I highly doubt they would do this to little Timmy and Bobby and Johnny. No, it has to happen to Jamal, Malcolm, and Raheem. Now, I know that's why I had to come back with, I know that's probably not the boy's name, but you understand where I'm headed with that. This right here is the definition of school to prison pipeline. If you could actually, listen, if a little boy could get charged and sent to court for this, we are all free game. And like I said in the live stream over there, what if he was getting that for his mom or the girl that he liked? That has some mental trauma attached to it, because he thinks he's probably sitting there saying, like, what am I doing wrong? All I'm doing is picking up a flower. And this is something I've done before, but there was never an issue before, but now it's an issue. Imagine the ramifications it's going to have him when he gets older and say that he wants to get the girl that he likes like a dozen roses, like say for Valentine's Day or maybe for their anniversary or birthday or whatever the case may be. And he stops dead in his tracks and like, I don't know if I want to do it because the last time I picked some flowers, I ended up in court. So you just never know what that can do to somebody mentally. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article coming from Complex that was posted on March 24th. Let's see. It says a recent report out of North Carolina is receiving national attention for spotlighting a case revolving around a 6-year-old boy who was forced to appear in court for allegedly picking a tulip from a yard at his bus stop. The piece in question, penned by Virginia Bridges for the Herald Sun and released earlier this month, opens with a description of the 6-year-old as his legs dangled above the floor as he sat with his attorney, Julie Boyer, while on trial in juvenile court on an allegation of injury to real property in connection with the aforementioned picked tulip. As Boyer explained in the report, she gave the young boy a coloring book and crayons and told him to color a picture during the proceedings. Y'all hear how ridiculous this sounds? There's a whole bunch of other stuff and crime going on in the world, and this is what gets presented to court. The mother of the 6-year-old wasn't able to attend an intake meeting per the report, which per regional law meant he ended up going before a judge himself. The judge dismissed the case when he was informed of the situation. I don't know if the mother is a single mother or if she worked or whatever, but I would have found a way to get down there, because there's absolutely no way in hell that you would have had my child in court for no picked tulip. Someone else has said if this was a little white boy, they would have took him to his parents. They turned him over to his parents if this was even deemed really a crime. But this little boy, he gets taken to court. Bridges' damning report also notes that between 2015 and 2018, nearly 7,300 complaints were filed against children between the ages of 6 and 11, and of those complaints, 47% were against black children, despite the fact that just 22% of the state's population is black, while 70% is white. Now look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. They're saying it is more white kids in that state than black kids, but the reports that have stemmed for 3 years, from 2015 to 2018, nearly 7,300, 47% were of black children, and they only make up 22% of the state. And they were between the ages of 6, which is this little boy, and 11. I wish somebody would try to tell me to my face or in this comment section that race didn't play a part in this. And this is in North Carolina, y'all. This is North Carolina. Thankfully, many social justice groups and other organizations, such as the National Juvenile Justice Network, chief among them, are pushing hard for the age of juvenile proceedings like the one that forced a 6-year-old boy to appear before a judge to be raised. Back in January, the National Juvenile Justice Network called on all states to set what they say is a reasonable minimum age when prosecuting children, specifically recommending that the age go no lower than 14. Now, there's an update passage here that came through on March 25th. It says, the group Black Men with Gardens wants to build the boy a garden. Please share and help us get a hold of his parents so we can make sure he gets the best garden in the town, the group wrote on Instagram. So I think that's dope of them to, want to help build this boy a garden. Who knows? Maybe he wants to be a gardener. Who knows? But that stat right there is an issue. It's more white kids in the state than black kids, but they're the ones that get picked up. They're the ones who have the calls and the complaints. And look at that, 7,300 complaints over the course of 3 years on kids, black children, between the ages of 6 and 11. And think about it. He falls into that category because he's 6 and he had a complaint of a picked flower. If it was that bad, they didn't even have to call the police on him. All they had to do was tell him, like, look, I know you like this flower and whatnot, but we worked hard to grow our garden. If you're going to pick a flower, can you please pick from somewhere else? And I'm sure that the little boy probably would have understood. Not call the cops on him as if he was about to do an armed robbery. Like I said, it's so many other crimes going on. But see, palm colored, they get off on calling the police on black people no matter what the age is. Think about it. Look at what happened with Tamir Rice. Playing in the park, 12 years old, playing in the park with a toy gun. And he has the police called on him and they roll up on him and they don't even ask him to put down the gun or nothing. They just roll out in about 2.5 or less than that. They shoot him and kill him right there in front of his sister. They won't even let his sister console her brother as he's bleeding out and dying right there on the ground. And who made the call? You guessed it, palm colored. They get off on calling the police on black people. I just recently did a video in Seattle, where is a black newspaper delivery man has the cops called on him by this palm-colored so-called sheriff, alleging that he was attacking him and all types of stuff, when everything in his story was just a lie. Everything in his story made no sense. John Crawford, same thing. And John Crawford and Tamir Rice both happened the same year, but John Crawford, his happened in August of 2014, and Tamir Rice happened in November of 2014. And they literally almost were exactly parallel with each other. But yeah, they get off on calling the police on black people for the dumbest things with the intent of seeing us be harmed or hurt. And they were probably on the other side of that window or from wherever they called and was laughing. And then if you end up in a situation like that so-called sheriff who called the cops on that black man who was delivering newspapers, if he can't get what he wants out of it, then he starts making up stories. Because his plan, his little scheme fell through. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But that little boy is probably going to be traumatized for life behind this, if he even remembers what happens later down the line. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you have not done so already, make sure that you text the number that is pinned down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video.